Hey guys, today we're going to give you our full review of the ASICS SUPERBLAST. Come run with me.
Change your mind, change your life.
That's right guys, today we're going to be our full review of this daily trainer running day, race day, long run. Basically, they're saying that this shoe is like all you're ever going to need. So we're going to let you know today whether or not that is a true case. But if you're new to the channel, please take a moment to like and subscribe. And then also don't forget to hit that notification bell to learn about all things running with James. If you also haven't done so already, make sure you check out our podcast. We drop a new episode every single week. We talk about training techniques, we tell stories, we have fun. Coach Lauren and Coach Rocky, alongside Coach James, have a great time every week. So we'd love for you to join us. Available on all platforms. All right, so as usual, we are going to talk about all things shoe. So that means your upper, that means your midsole, that means your outsole. By the end of this video, you'll know whether this is something you have to have or something you can do without. All right, guys, so let's jump right into this, and we're going to talk about the upper. Now, the upper is ASICS jacquard woven material that I did find had plenty of breathability, plenty of room. The toe box itself was very ample, both in width and in depth. It also provided a pretty comfortable feel, so it didn't have any hot spots around the toes, no slippage in the heel. The heel counter itself is pretty substantial, so it's definitely not one of those flaky kind of really foldable ones. It has kind of a plastic insert toward the back. It's got the little cup and plenty of padding around the edges of that collar. Also has a padded tongue with an attached tongue. So this tongue is really nice, right? Now I don't think this has ever happened in the history of running with James. So this is a running with James first. Our last review, I told you that the tongue was perfect. They crushed the tongue on that New Balance Rebel V4. Well, you know what? They crushed the tongue on this one as well. It has an attached tongue, so it's got the little gusset on there. It has little breathe holes, so it makes it a little more airy. It's slightly padded, so not too thick. Actually has some extra padding, little bitty pads that you really can't probably see them, but they're really, really thin. On those hot spots where like you would be tying the shoe down, like these eyelets. So, you know, this is near perfect tongue. So that's 2 tongues in a row where I have a lot to say about a tongue, and that's ridiculous because the tongue is just a tongue, right? But I don't know if you know this, but life and death is in the power of the tongue. The tongue is awesome, and I think it allows for a really good lockdown fit, so you don't have to worry about getting bunching or anything like that. It is a little warmer because the jacquard knit is a little thicker, and so I found that it wasn't like super duper breathable, so it's not like super hot, but it's also like, it's not like a lot of the new uppers where it's like you can see through them, you can literally like see the, you know, feel the wind through them. But I think when you're in Houston, everything is hot, but you know, it's one of those shoes that I think you can wear all types of the year and you're going to be okay. So I've got about 75 miles on this particular shoe, and it seems to be, the upper seems to be wearing really, really well. Still looks pretty new, right? So I've actually taken pretty good care of it. It does have a pull tab, so I think some people really enjoy the pull tab, so it's easy to get on and off. Simple lacing system, nothing special, nothing to write home about, but was able to get a pretty good lockdown fit. So all in all, I would say plenty of toe room, good lockdown fit, no slippage in the heel, no hot spots, amazing tongue, and so a little warm, but other than that, great job on this upper. So now let's jump into the midsole. And I want to say, for me, the midsole for this particular shoe is really the make or the break, okay? Now, this shoe actually is being kind of touted as like the beefed up Nova Blast. Like, so if you've ever had the Nova Blast before, it's a pretty bouncy ride, pretty comfortable. The sole is obviously, it's a little bit bulky, but you don't really feel it as much. I like the Nova Blast, but it wasn't one of those shoes where like I felt like a lot of people like to pick up the pace, but I didn't really feel like it had that snap. I preferred it more for like the daily training miles, easier miles, and even the longer runs it was a good shoe. So this is supposed to be that shoe with a little more pep in its step, right? So it actually has two different foams in the midsole. It has the Flight Foam, let's see if I can get the words out. The Flight Foam Blast Turbo and the Flight Foam Blast Plus, okay? Now, these two layers basically are the Nova Blast foam and then like the Meta Speed, right? So like they're high end, the racing day shoe. So it's basically two layers put together to offer that bounce and that spring, and then another layer that offers a little more stability for those longer miles. And so it is bouncy, it is soft, but you do get a good amount of spring in this foam. And I don't know, like the first time I put the shoe on, I was like, man, this shoe's kind of bulky, looks kind of big, kind of heavy. You know, a men's 9.5 or so comes in right about 8.4 ounces or 238 grams. My size 10.5 came in closer to like 9.5, 10 ounces. And so for like a race day shoe or a speed day shoe, that's probably a little heavier than I would want. But, you know, it really doesn't feel like it's 9.5 ounces. It doesn't feel like that heavy on foot. And I think part of it is because that foam is so bouncy, right? So the more I run in this shoe, I have done some short distance, obviously. I've done long distances. I've ran, I think, up to 17 miles, I think I did in the shoe. I've done fast paces. So I've actually done like some faster up-tempo workouts where I was running like, you know, under 6 minute miles, there we go. So like 5:45, 5:50. I've done some tempo style works where I'm running closer to like 6:30, 6:40. And so I picked up the pace. I've done some longer workouts in it, and I really like this foam, man. It's just like, it's bouncy, it's fun. And I think it's like, it covers a lot of different things that you may want to do. So really for me, I think with the mixture of the two, the way they put this together, I think it is really like a Swiss Army knife shoe, where if you could only maybe have one type of shoe or what have you, or have a limited number of shoes in your rotation, this shoe could pretty much do anything, or at least this foam anyway, could pretty much do anything you would want it to. All right, so let's talk about the outsole. The outsole is ASICS proprietary AR Plus, which is supposed to be a lightweight, abrasive resistant rubber. In fact, they say it's like 3 times less abrasive, or it's more resistant than their other rubbers, right? So I found that even though it's not like complete coverage, they have it kind of strategically placed to try to save as much weight as they can. I have had 0 issues, right? So obviously I've ran on concrete, asphalt. I've ran in some kind of like gravelly areas as well. I've ran on wet, dry concrete, wet and dry asphalt. No slippage, no problems. Feel secure when you're taking corners, all that good stuff. So even though it's a fairly limited amount, it's mainly just kind of on the edges for the most part. I found that it's in the right places, and it gives you the good contact with the ground that you need to keep moving forward. So I would say for me, the rubber was a really good job. We'll see how long it's gonna last. I mean, like I said, it's been like 75 miles. And when you look at the bottom of it, I don't really see any kind of, you know, if you look at it, I don't see any wear really at all on this rubber. So you can see like the black is the rubber, this is the foam itself. So it has the exposed foam, but it's all held up, you know, pretty decent. Now, 75 miles isn't a ton, but it's usually enough to kind of let you know what kind of wear you're gonna have on a shoe. So with the foam and the combination of the thickness of the foam and the rubber that's on here, so you've got like what, 45 millimeter stack height in the heel, 37 millimeter stack height in the forefoot. I mean, that's max cushion, 100%. That's higher than like legal for most races, right? So 40 millimeters is actually the max stack you're supposed to be able to wear in an actual race. So it's max cushion, plenty of that foam. It's got plenty of rubber on the outside. So I really feel like you're gonna get a lot of miles out of this shoe. It's a really well-built shoe. And so the outsole is great. And I think with that combination of the thickness, you probably can get a good 500, 600, 700 miles out of the shoe, depending on what kind of runner you are, how heavy you are, and you know, like the kind of runs you're doing. I think this is a shoe you're gonna get a lot of miles out of. So it's no surprise, the verdict on this shoe is obviously a very positive one. This is a shoe that you can pretty much run any run you're gonna need to run. Short, long, easy day, fast day. Honestly, I think with the pickup that it has, it doesn't have a carbon fiber plate. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but you don't need a carbon fiber plate to actually run fast in a race. But even without that carbon fiber plate, I feel like this is a shoe you could race a half marathon or a full marathon in. It's a little heavy for a race day shoe, I will say that. Probably heavier than what I would want. But if you could only get like 1 or 2 shoes, I think this is one of those shoes you probably want to have. Comes in around $199, so it's a little higher on the price scale, right, for a daily trainer. But if you're comparing it to, like, say, the cost of like a super shoe, which usually costs $250, $300, well, it's cheaper than those. And I'll be honest, like, I would rather wear this than maybe some of the super shoes that are out there that cost $250, just because of the spring, the bounce, the cushion, the comfort of the shoe itself, the tongue. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. But either way, I think it's a good shoe. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I think it is a great shoe. It's one of my favorite shoes that I'm running in right now. It took me a while to actually go ahead and get this shoe. I bought this shoe myself, and I was kind of like, I have the Nova Blast, so I really care about trying to try the Superblast out. You know, I had the Metaspeed. I'm like, what's the purpose of the shoe? And honestly, like, I would have, if I had to choose it over again, I would have not bought the Nova Blast, and I would have gone straight for this shoe. And so for me, I really feel like this is a shoe you cannot go wrong with. Whether you have a white foot, a narrow foot, whether you're a larger person, right, you have a little more weight to you, you're gonna probably really like this shoe. Even if you're a lighter weight person or what have you, the shoe does not feel heavy on foot. It's got the balance, it's got the spring, it's got probably everything you really want in a shoe, besides the fact that it's a little bit heavier than most. So for me, this is a must-have shoe. All right, guys, that is it for our review of the ASICS SUPERBLAST. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you give us a thumbs up. Please don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you get reminded whenever we drop new videos. And I don't know if you know this or not, but if you really do enjoy these and you have friends that run, share the videos with your friends. It helps us out a ton with the algorithms and, you know, how they expose our videos and our content. And so if you would do that, that would be a great help to us. If you get any benefit from this, please, please, please do that. Once again, you can check out our podcast every single week. We have a great time. You can become a supporter of the show and for the channel as well by going to patreon.com/runningwithjames, and you can become a part of a great community. You get additional content as well as training plans, things of other nature, just depending on what level you are at. So guys, thanks for coming in. Keep coming back. Keep sharing. Let us know how those runs are going. Let us know in the comments if you tried this shoe before. Do you like this shoe? Is this something that you can't live without? Or is this something that you seem to think that I don't know what the heck I'm talking about? I want to hear about it. So thanks, guys, for coming in. Remember, you change your mind, you change your life.